Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 2026 edition of Accountants Breaking Barriers. I will be taking over for the next couple of weeks from Michael as the facilitator. With me today is a phenomenal woman who is a runner. Her name is Cynthia Munemo. She currently resides at the Channel Islands in Guernsey, where she is BDO's head of advisory. Besides that, she's a mom of three to a teenager, a 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old. She defines herself as a friend and passionate about what she does. Why we're here is for her to share her story about running the Comrades Marathon uh, for more than 3, 4 times. She'll correct me if I got it wrong. And she's been running for more than 12 years now. So I want to introduce Cynthia. Cynthia, over to you.
Thank you, Tatenda. Yeah, I'll correct you. I've done the Comrades
Definitely.
Marathon. Yeah, I've done the Comrades Marathon 6 times. And I think the idea behind it really for me is to do it at least 11 times before I die. And that's because when you do it 10 times, they give you something called a green number. And then the 11th time, I want to run with my green number. And it's more really about bragging rights than anything. I want to be able to brag and say I've done the Comrades 10 times, but I would love to do a double green, which is 20.
Double green is 20.
Yep.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, correction there. Sixth time. Are you doing it this year?
Oh yeah, I want
Oh, so
to do
seven. Yes,
I
seven.
want I'm gonna do
Just
it this
checking.
year. Yeah, I'm
Just
gonna do
checking.
it this year. It's in
Yes.
June. It has to be every year because unfortunately, even though I say I am 23, I'm forever 23. The years are ticking. So I have an expiry date, should I say, in terms of my physical being of when I can do it. I want to do it 20 times. So I have to do it every year going forward for me to be able to get to that number.
But we're rooting for you
Oh,
because we live at a time where athletes are breaking barriers. The expiry date um, is moving forward. Anna LeBron James,
yeah, yeah.
Tom Brady. So you are in the right time
Yeah,
for.
and recently there's this 44-year-old that just broke the world record on the backyard ultra.
Oh, wow.
Yes, 44 she is, so it's like wow, and it's the first time she's broken a world record, and she came first in that race. So I think age is just a number.
Yes, we live in a time where things are possible. And who
Yeah.
knows, maybe AI will assist us in running. Anyway,
Yeah, hopefully AI can clone a version of me. They can run fast and break a world record because at the moment I am leading from behind.
okay, back to serious matters. How did it all start?
It, well, I just came across running, to be fair. It was at a point in time when I was just really trying to figure out where life is. You know how it is, like you go through life and you have it all planned when you're still in your mom's house and you've got everything planned. You've got timelines, you've got everything that you're going to do, X, Y, Z. And then you come to certain points where you get what you thought you wanted and it's not what you wanted. And life is not going as it was scripted in your head. And there was that confusion and there was that a setting in, I would say, of disappointment and voices in my head telling me all sorts of things. And I needed a clutch, should I say, or an escape. And it was at a point where I was at my lowest. I just went out for a run. I was trying to run away from something. It's actually true. I've seen memes flying around on Instagram where all these people that run crazy distance are running away from something. When I started, I was running away from something. So I think I
Mm,
went out of the house and ran for like 500 meters. And I came back and I was feeling so good. it kind of felt like I'd solved all my problems then. And that's when it all started, really. It was for me to cope with a situation or a circumstance that I found myself in. And I thought there was no way out. I really couldn't see any way out. And I needed answers and I couldn't get any answers. And I was at my lowest. And it was that first run out of the house, which just set it off. So I did that, and then I had a route round in the hood where I ran. To be honest with you, when I set out, it felt like I'd done 25 Ks. Later, when I then had the contraptions to actually measure the distance, I found out I'd only run 1.87 kilometers of that route, but I did it daily. And I would always come back, and I was very happy, and I would be happy for the rest of the day. And then at the end of the day, I'm too tired to really care about what's going on around me. And it worked. It was like a drug, to be fair. It got very addictive. And then it so happened that at the church I was attending, they had an annual 10K race that they'd started. So I started training for that. And then I started increasing the distances from the 1.87. That's when I found out about something called Run Keeper, which I could use on my watch, on my phone, actually. So I could now measure the distance. So it became exciting from 1.87 kilometers, then running 4Ks, and then stretching the distance to 5, then 8. And then I took part in that 10K race it was the annual to the Bismarck race. And on the first time I did it, I came second female. Oh, yeah. And it was like, oh my God, I'm so good at this. Imagine running 10Ks. And it was like, it's just people in church. It's not the pro athletes, the elite athletes, but
Yes.
it felt so good. It felt so good because I was
Mm.
like, at least I'm good at something. I mean, it was at that point in time where I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning if I am good at anything at all. And then I come second, and the bragging rights started. I thought I was really good at this. So I went to work and I told my friend I'd done 10Ks, one of my colleagues. And that's when she had a flyer. She had just seen a flyer where Old Mutual had started a Harare Marathon. I think it was the first time actually they launched the Old Mutual Harare Marathon. And it had distances 10, 21, and 42.2. And she's like, I dare you to do 21 because you think you're the queen of running now. You should try and do 21 Ks. So I'm like, oh, well, do you a solid. And I'm going to do the 42.2. I had no idea what I was signing. I promise you, I kid you not. I'll do it. I'll go for the 42. I mean, why pay for 21 and run 21 when I can run 42.2? It's like, no, it's fine. Just try 21. It's a stretch anyway because you've only just done 10. I was like, no, I'm going to do 42.2. So I registered for that race. I didn't know what I was signing up for, I promise you. And for me, if I set my mind on something, I'm going to work towards it. I don't want to fail. So I didn't read about it, didn't research anything. All I started doing was training every day, go out and run. So it then moved from 8Ks, I did 10K distance roundabout. I used to stay roundabout Greencroft area. That's where my routes were. So there was an 8K one, a 10K. And then I moved. I remember the longest distance I ran before I did the 42.2 was 21 Ks around that area as well before. Then the next weekend was 42.2. That's when we're doing the Old Mutual Marathon. I didn't have the appropriate trainers. I didn't have the appropriate clothing. I remember I went to Avondale Flea Market, purchased a cotton vest. I got a friend of mine borrowed, she lent me her old pair of shoes, New Balance, and I had my cotton trek bottoms. That's what I ran in. I remember so vividly the colors I was wearing. It was pink, and the shoes also had a touch of pink, so that was beautiful. And that's when I set off and did my first ever 42.2. I think that was in 2013, I think it was. I had no idea what I was doing. Didn't hydrate, didn't drink anything, and finished it in 4 hours, 35 minutes.
Oh,
First
okay.
ever. Yes. And chaffed. I was chaffed all over from the cotton stuff I was wearing. And let's not talk about the blisters because the shoes were not my size. Remember, they'd just been lent to me, and the my toenail came off, but it was the feeling at the end. That's what set it off. And that's when I met someone who told me about the Comrades. I didn't know about it. And they told me about ultra distance running, and that intrigued me. That's what set it off. That's how my ultra distance running journey started.
Okay. Hey, I've learned new words. Ultra distance running. How far back was it? Uh, the church run and then the Old Mutual run.
The Old Mutual Run should have been around about 2013, if I think so. 2013. That's when I did my first marathon.
Yeah, I loved
Yeah,
how you were an accountant about it. Why pay for 21 when I can do 42?
exactly. Exactly. I
So
mean,
the accountant in you came through.
yeah.
So do you have a regime? Um, like how do you maintain the focus, the balance? Yeah, do you have a regime or I hear your mental game seems to be on point, but besides that, is there anything else that keeps you going?
I think it's the why. It's why I do it. That's what keeps me going. And yes, I do have a training regime. So one thing is if you're going to do the comrades, you're not just going to rock up and run the comrades like I did with the 42.2. You really have to train for it. And so doing that has sort of like given me a consistent training regime that I have to adopt with each year, each season. But it's become a lifestyle for me.
Mm,
It's become a part of me. I think what I can say is I've built it. I've defined myself as a road runner. I live, breathe, and talk running. I mean, I'm associated with ultra distance running. So it's not something that I think about. It's like waking up and going to work. It's wake up, go for a run, or wake up, go to work, and then go for a run after. It's just part of, it's become a lifestyle. The
mm,
training regime comes for when I'm training for something. So if it is the comrades, then I'm training for 90 Ks. I know I need to be doing this between Feb and March, and then I need to be doing this in April. Then I need to taper towards the end of May, do the race, recover for the 2 weeks or 3 weeks after running. Then we look for the next thing after June. What am I looking towards? It's the backyard ultra, and I'm training for that. How long do I want to go? What should I be doing to build up on the training? We get to August, you do the backyard ultra. What's the next thing? There's a marathon or there's a half marathon in between. It's just it all goes on from January to December. And what drives me, the passion, because it's hard. Running is hard.
mm.
It is
Running
difficult.
is hard.
I've been doing it for all these years, but I will tell you, there are times when I wake up and I'm going for a 10K and I'm thinking, oh my God, I am going to die. And you've run 165 Ks before in one go, but you're struggling on a 10K, you're struggling on a 5K. It's normal. But what drives me is why I do it.
Mm,
And it's because of what it does for me and what it has done for me in the past, for my mental well-being, what it
mm,
does for me now in terms of clearing my head, in terms of giving me that focus, in terms of giving me that confirmation or affirmation that I can do hard things. I am good at something. So that's the passion that drives me for me to actually have a training regime to get to it and do what needs to be done in terms of preparation for all the races. And even if I don't have a race, so there will come a time towards, I think the last race I do in a year is in October. So between October and Feb, I don't have any races, but I'm preparing for something or just ticking over the boxes.
mm,
And it's a part of me. It's something that I can't shake off.
mm. Thank you. I just thought being an accountant is hard enough. Accountant concern.
I actually think being an accountant is what drives us to do some of these things and get into
Yes,
extreme
because
sports. Yeah.
it's the mental overload.
Oh
I
my God.
can
I mean, it's
imagine.
like, so it's funny. You get from work because I get home from work and I'm really tired, and I'll be like, okay, I'm tired. I'll go for a run. And then I go for a run, tired as I am, or I'm tired, but I need to go to the gym to do strength training, or I need to go to swimming for recovery of muscles. But it's it just it gives you a discipline in which you can translate in any area of your life, at work, with the children, with life in general. You just need to have like a sort of discipline, and running kind of helps you establish that.
Okay. Yeah, discipline. Yeah, because all that reading and the training, at least you're putting it in use outside the profession. So
Yeah.
that's how you're breaking barriers. What do you think makes a good runner? Is it genes? Is it your regime or it's mental work? Like, what would you say makes a good runner athlete?
Okay. So I would say for the elites, the Kenyans, it's the genes. So you need a little bit of the genes. It just depends on where you are with your running journey. So I'm recreational. I don't do it for winning. I mean, I've won. There's a
What
race which
types?
I, well, there's a race which I've been winning here in Guernsey. I've done it 3 times. It's called the Backyard Ultra, where you keep running until there's one person standing. So it's good to win, but it's also because it's the crowd that comes to that. It's very good to win. So if you are an elite, I think the Kenyans are very good at marathons because of the way they're built, their lung capacity, or whatever, and where they're geographically located. You find even research also says that with the ultra distance running, Europeans are built for it.
Okay.
Um, Yes, with the short distance, the sprints, the dominating queens are the Jamaicans and the Americans. They probably built for it. But for us recreational runners who do it not because it's going to give us money at the end of the day, it's the mind, the
Mhm.
strong mind. I think one of the things I could say counts in my favor is just that stubborn mind, in a mind that's set to say, if I start something, I am going to finish it. If I do something, I have to give it my all, give my best foot forward all the time. So that's what makes me the runner that I am, who's able to finish all those things that I've finished, which not everyone can do. It's the mind, the can do attitude. I can do it, or I will do it. And that's the end of the story. Nothing else will stop you from going after whatever it is that you set out to do, whether it be breaking barriers in terms of the distance that you're running, whether it be breaking barriers in terms of juggling the nature of a demanding hobby and a demanding work life and a demanding family, you know what I mean? So I think
Mm.
for us who do this as an additional or a hobby, it would be the mind over matter. Because a lot of things will tell you, don't do it. It's not your day job. It doesn't give you money. It's painful. A strong mind will be like, but why am I doing it? And the reason why you do it, and the mind and strength to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So for you, I guess, from hearing your story, it got you from a place where you were stuck, but running then freed you by literally, as you said, running away from whatever was trying to bring you down.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So what do you think puts you ahead of the rest? Is it besides the mind, like outfit wise, diet? Like I'm saying if you were to advise me to start running today, what would you say I need?
Oh, well, my advice would be just get out of the door. Wear a pair of trainers and take the first step, to be honest. Even if it just means you're going to do 20 minutes, the winning point is to start. You just have to start. It doesn't take it to be out. I promise you, I did not do any athletics whatsoever when I was at school. I did try my hand at netball. I did it for a couple of terms when I was in primary, was good at it for a bit, and then I went to secondary, and oh God, there were people who were far much better than I was. So I stopped right there, and then I did try my hand at basketball, but we were not, well, we couldn't afford the sneakers. My poor mom couldn't couldn't afford to buy me the basketball sneakers, and I didn't have the look and the height of a
Mhm.
female basketball player. So I quit. And all I used to do when I was in school was take my raincoat with a book and use that time to sleep. I never used to do any athletics. And then when I went to school, the school I went to for A level, my sister had been there and she was well known for being asthmatic. So I used to lie that I was also asthmatic. It ran in the family. So I got out of doing sports at A level. I would be allowed to stay at the hostels and study because I was asthmatic. So I only started running after I gave birth to my first child. In
Mm.
my, yes, after I found myself in a certain situation and then I had a child, and here I am in this sticky situation, and I've got a child, and I've got a life, and I've got a job, and I still have to perform, and I have to take care of myself. So what do I do? And all I did, and I remember, I didn't even own a pair of trainers. I remember I used my ex-husband's trainers, which were three sizes bigger than bigger than my actual size, and his socks. And the first thing I did was go out and run. I took the first step. So my advice to you is just wear a pair of trainers and go
Uh,
take the first
Even if
step
I
out.
told me I can run.
Eh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Anyway, if you remember clearly well when people used to do the cross countries back at school, we used to run
Yes.
bare
Those with the
feet.
white. Oh,
We used
yes.
to run bare feet sometimes because you didn't. It's like some of us who came from a background which was economically challenged, you knew that that pair of Tommies was supposed to last you 2 years. So if you
Yes.
ran with it on the cross country, it would be damaged. So you would go bare feet.
Before the actual.
Yeah,
Okay.
but now with the progression and of time and the Nike and Adidas doing all sorts of things to get money out of us, they've come out with these high performance shoes, and you think you need a high performance shoes to start running. No, you don't.
You
You
just
just
need your
need
feet.
you just need your feet and your mind, and you need to start. But now,
Yeah.
to be fair, I won't lie and say I don't use the high tech shoes. I do
Because you can now afford them, I
because I
take
can
it.
afford them, and also let's be fair. I mean, it works better with a pair of shoes than bare feet.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So yeah. So were there any challenges in your running journey? What would you say have been the challenges you faced?
Ah, challenges are there, Tatenda, in life. I think one of the biggest one is actually finding time, because guess what? Surprise, surprise, the clock has 24 hours. A day is 20, the clock is 12. Huh?
And
The-
it could be digital. That's okay.
yeah, exactly. So you've got 24 hours in a day. So there is the challenge. You've got a job, you've got children, you've got life literally throwing spanners at you left, right, and center. You've got deadlines, you've got people who are dying who need to be buried, you've got friends who need to be seen, you've got parents who need to check in with you. Those are that's the challenge. It's making time for it. You also have physical challenges because endurance, we're not made to run 165 Ks. You're not made to run 90 Ks. It's abnormal. So your body can only take so much. So you have got those periods where you get injured. That injury sets you back and you've gone into emotion. Because, like for me, it's a clutch, it's a lifeline. Like if I don't run, you don't want to deal with me if when I've not run. And it's those setbacks. But you want to do so much, but you are limited in terms of time. You're limited in terms of your physical being, in terms of what your body can take. I'm limited in terms of I would like to be faster, but I'm not. And sometimes it's that, yeah. So you've got
That you are already.
no, I'm not. I'm not as fast. I think this is why I do the distance because I can run, walk, and eat. You know what I mean? But it's so those have been the challenges. It's just trying to fit everything in. And then, I don't know if it works across generations, but when we grew up, there was a hoax and a lie that we were sold that you could balance everything. And I mean, we still talk about it when people say work life balance. Oh, that's a hoax. You can't. And so,
Yeah.
one of the challenges that comes in, which is something that you then learn and unlearn as you go, is just trying to actually balance everything and be the perfect mom, be the perfect sister, be the perfect wife, be the perfect colleague, and still be able to have a hobby and still be able to do it. and it's one of those things that that was my biggest challenge, trying to balance it all and
Mm,
trying to tick all the boxes, and you know and trying to fit in all the societal norms, because you don't want to be seen like, oh, she's running too much, which was the case at some point, or you do too much running, so you're not working hard enough, or you're not being a good mom, until you get to a point where you actually learn you can't balance everything, really.
mm,
Yeah, you can prioritize, you can postpone,
prioritize.
you can postpone, you can pass
Mhm.
certain things. But also, and it was also one of the challenges was unlearning what we were told, that self-care was selfish,
Yes.
and then really putting this in a box and saying, okay, this running is for me. It benefits me, but it's going to be for the greater good, because after that, you have someone who's happy. And I'll be able to do everything that I need to do, even twice as fast, because of the endorphins that have been released throughout the running. So the challenge I faced in the onset of this journey was actually to tell myself, no, this is something I must do. And it's something I must do, and it's for me, but it's not selfish. It's actually going to be for the greater good.
Self-care.
Self-care, yeah. And then there was
So,
the challenge also of knowing when to stop. Knowing when to stop, because you get onto a trail and you get into a zone and you're doing so well and you're running so well and you want to do it every day. I mean, at one point when I started, like in the initial years, I was going out there and running 21 Ks a day, 6 days a week. And even when my body was tired, but I would keep pushing myself and thinking, I have to do more and more and more, and I have to do it all the time for me to be good at it. And then you get injured. And then it's knowing how to read your body and tell yourself, this is enough, or this is a bit too much, or now I need to rest. This is my body telling me I'm tired, because you want to be doing it for a long time. And also because you're making it a hobby, it should not be hard. It should be enjoyable, which is where I am now, where I actually go out and enjoy it, where I can run 10 Ks and then think 8 Ks in, oh, I'm not feeling too well. Let me kill the run here and come back
mm,
stronger when I've rested and stuff like that. So, yeah.
yeah, so you've touched on discipline.
Yep.
It's a constant. So also, I liked how you addressed my next question, that anything in excess, uh, anything that becomes an addiction is also not good for you. So I like how you then address that, in that you overcame that challenge and broke that barrier. Since we're talking about breaking barriers,
Hmm.
yes. And then the other thing I wanted to ask was, how do you handle the change in terrain, change in climate, or because you're coming from Channel Islands and then you're
Yep.
running back in Africa, South
Yeah.
Africa, how do you manage the terrain where you started running in Zim?
Yes.
Yes. So how have you navigated the change in time zones, uh, climates, terrain? Yeah.
I think as your body acclimatizes, honestly,
Mm,
everything just kind of works. It's just like when you wake up to go to work in Zimbabwe, and then next you're now in the Channel Islands, you still have to wake up and go to work in the Channel Islands, and it's a different environment. So it's just like, because running is just a part of the things that you do. You walk to work, you walk to work in Zim. Now you're walking to work in a different environment. So you're running in it, your body acclimate. You get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're
It's
trying to say.
it's not like there's something that you need to do because now you're running in Channel Islands. It's just the way you're adapting to your environment in your everyday life, in working up and doing everything else, is the way you should just adapt when you start running. Of course, it will be cold, but you've got warm jackets that you can put on. You've got sleeves that you can wear. And then when you move between environments as well, it's that switch, because we also have seasons here. There is the summer here. So you're
Yeah.
training through the summer. There is the winter here. You're training through the winter. So if I ever go back, when I go to South Africa, it's winter in South Africa when we do the Comrades, but we're coming from a summer here, and normally
Mm,
the summer here, your temperatures get up to 10, 14 degrees. That's their summer, but that's our winter back
that's our
home.
winter.
Exactly. So it's like when I go there, it's like it's not like I've changed environments really, because I'm running at 10 degrees in Africa, which is equivalent of the summer that I've just come back from. And I've been training throughout the year. And I've been going out and walking throughout the year, throughout the seasons. So the body adapts. And one thing that I know is a strong mind, just if your heart is set on it, to be fair, everything adapts because your legs, your body will only carry you as far as your mind lets you. So it's
I like how you say it. Sorry, I cut you. I like how you say it. You don't think of it as running in a different place because it's part of your everyday routine. Like you don't frame it like that. So I appreciate how you framed it like that.
and for me, like if I'm traveling, if I'm going anywhere, I pack my Garmin, my pair of trainers, and some running gear. That might actually make it to my destination. I might get I might get left by the plane, but my running gear goes everywhere. Do you understand? And I run everywhere. Nothing stops me. The only thing that will probably stop me from running is lightning and thunder. I'm afraid of that. But if it's rain, if it's scorching sun, if it's winds, depending on the gale force, of course, but it's just training yourself to run through each season. Here the rain has ice blocks. When it rains, it's icy, and sometimes you set out, and it's just me. This is the African me. I don't know how to check the weather before I do anything. People here are very good at checking the weather. I just go out. If it's time to run, it's time to run. And sometimes you face a hailstorm and you've got little tiny ice blocks hitting you, but you just run through it. So it's running through those things. It just prepares me for anything really, because you could go to South Africa and you're in Cape Town and there's strong winds. I've run through winds here. You could run and it's hot. I've run through the summer here because it will be hot from a Guernsey perspective. But I know how it is to run in heat. I know how it
Mm,
is to train in the cold weather. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I want to ask whether it's time for a commercial break or we continue so that you can sip some water. What time is it there, actually?
It is 26 minutes to 2. This is my lunch hour.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us your lunch hour.
It's my
Okay.
pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So we've spoken about, yes. So going forward, what are your plans with running? We know that you're going to be doing this for the next until you die. Who knows how long God has given you?
Mhm.
But what has Cynthia have in store for us?
Well, focus really is on the Comrades, trying to do that
Mm-hmm,
every year. And that
mm-hmm.
is, it takes a lot in terms of the training and also the expenses, because now I have to travel. Oof.
Yes.
So much for it. And then also there's a race that I dominate quite a lot here. And I intend to keep dominating that one. It's called a backyard ultra. So there's that. And then there's also trying to run in different areas as much as I can afford to. So I've got a trail racing coming up in a few weeks in Portugal, and just trying to pick up certain challenges going elsewhere, not just confining myself to Guernsey and Zimbabwe and South Africa, and trying different terrains as well. So I have always been so much into road running. I love the tar. That's what I say. I love the tar. But I've taken to, because Guernsey is so small, and if you're training for Comrades, you need the distance. You also need the challenge. So I've been forced to run on cliffs. And then
Mm,
I found that to be very refreshing. A, because it's very tough, it's difficult. So it gives you it gives you like two-in-one training. You're training the cardio, you're also strength training for your legs. So I've done cliff runs, and now I just want to see if I can do trail running a little bit more, not necessarily get rid of road running because road running is really what defines me, but do a lot more trail running so I can build up on the strength and probably take it and translate it to road running and probably be faster or run longer And I would like to stretch and see how much further I can go than 100 miles, because the most I've ever done is 100 miles, which is about 165 Ks. I would like to do more. I'd like to get to 200. I'd like to get 210, 250, maybe 500.
Say it loud. 500
Oh
kilometers,
my
girl.
God, I am afraid if I say it out loud, then I've
Say
committed
it out
myself.
loud.
If I
Yes,
do
you've
that, then I've
already. We've heard
committed
you in
and I
front
want to
of
do
50
it.
people.
And then I want to do it. But to be fair, it's just to see how much I can stretch myself. You know, one of the greatest runners of all time, Eliud Kipchoge, says there is no limit. So I want to see that and experience that for myself. How far can I go? How far can I stretch?
All right.
As,
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, no, I just wanted to say as long as I'm alive.
Do you travel alone, or you then balance it out as family trips, or how do you,
Oh, well,
or you
so
have a
back
club, or it's your self-care time? Yeah.
if it was that cheap to travel with the children, I have so many of them. Three is a lot. If it was cheap to travel with them, I would. But I've kind of made this one a selfish one.
Okay.
It's just
Self-care.
me.
Mm,
Self-care. Thank you.
yes.
Yeah. So, but as far, and especially with races like the Comrades, it's a bit hectic. I get all up in my feels when it comes to the Comrades. So I just want it to be my time. I don't
Okay.
want to be worrying about whose chicken nuggets are not done so well, or who's missing their sock, or when are we going to the next Ferris wheel. You know how it is when you travel with kids. So I kind of travel on my own for the runs.
Okay. And you've spoken about yourself, but societal, how will Cynthia the Roadrunner contribute either in Guernsey or in Zim? What are your plans with that?
Well, because it's something that I love to do and I do. I think one of the things, and this is one thing that I've been thinking about this year, is to actually run for charities, raise money for charities. A lot of people do that here. So normally I'll just go out and run for me. But I've seen people set up pages for charities that close to their hearts. So that's one thing I would love to do. In terms of, and it's also inspiring other people, because remember, one of the reasons why I got into it in the first place was for mental reasons. And there was a point when I was at my lowest of my lowest and really thought I was going to oof myself. But this has helped me. It has helped me gain balance in terms of mental health and well-being. So for me, I use it also as a platform to, I talk a lot about my running on my social pages. I talk a lot about it in terms of witty, funny posts and stuff like that. But it's also to encourage people, like, this is good for you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be running. That's what I always say. Just find your clutch. Find something that takes care of your physical body, that takes care of your mental well-being as well. So that is what I think is my contribution to society. And also just being a good mom and raising kids that are well balanced, that would not be a menace to society. I need running to be sane and to be able to give back to work, to be able to give back to my family, to be able to give back to those people around me, and just not be a horrible individual.
Thank you for being honest and vulnerable. So it's 22. Um, I'll ask people who have comments or questions uh, to put it in the chat. Or okay, I can able mics. I see Tariro has a hand up. This is now testing my technology. Okay, so Tariro, your mic has been enabled. You can unmute.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to highlight that Cynthia is really an inspirational person, especially personally in my life. And I'm probably a CA because of her. And I probably run because of her as well. And following her social media since her beginning, really, altogether. And I'd just like to applaud her and ask her to keep it up. We're following right behind her in all steps. And that's amazing, man. Thank you.
Thank you. So there you go, 500
Oh my
kilometers.
God, thank you. Oh, 500. Thank you, Tari. I'm humbled. I'm chuffed. You think so highly of me. Thank you.
So Muta also has a hand up, or him. I have enabled your mic.
I think mine is just a comment. I'm one of the people who follow Cynthia's socials. And Cynthia, you're such a lover of life. I think whenever I think whenever I actually see your profile, I'm like, if only I was so, I just see you jolly and happy and all. So yeah, just keep it up. It really does rub off, to be honest. I think whenever I see your status, etc., you're in the gym, you're running, or you're making jokes, and it really, really does rub off.
Thank you very much, Muta. I think I blame it on the endorphins. Oh,
Mike is sharing one of your endorphin moments. Yeah, we know not to mess with you when you have your game face on.
oh, yes, yes, yes. So one of the one of the things I say is I do a lot of strength training and weight training in the gym so that when my kids get into a fight, I'm ready to back them up. So if you ever need someone to back you up, I think I've got a couple of muscles. But yes, thank you so much, Muta. Strength training is really a big part of the running because most of the time we think you just have to go out there and run, 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 run. But it's going out there and running, running, running without the strength in your legs that you then get injured. So I'm in the gym quite a lot. And I also swim quite a lot. And this is good for muscle recovery. And it also is very good for, I don't know, it helps with the lungs, the breathing when you're in the water. So it's high impact train. It's low impact training for me. So at times when I feeling tired or my body is aching from the running, I translate it to the pool and it kind of helps. So yeah.
That's the balance. There's a comment in the chat. As a Comrades addict myself, this is from Michael. I impressed with your CV, Cynthia, covering over 165 kilometers running on one go, something that I have not done. What drives the desire to just go far and far? And then what's your key message as to whether it's too late to start?
Okay, I'll start with the last question, which is what's your key message, whether it's too late to start? No, it's not. No, it's not at all. This, I think we do the comrades. The oldest person who did the comrades last year should have been well in their 60s, I think. Yeah. And I kid you not, I think they finished earlier than me. They were faster than me. But also, and then I've spoken about this lady who broke the record at 44. At 44. And I can imagine there's a lot of people who are much younger than that on this chart. It's never too late to start. It's just you just have to start. And then what drives my desire to go far and far is because of the hindsight I have with what running has done for me. I think at the beginning of this conversation, we talked about you have to have a reason why you do it. So it started off with the why, and it was really and then the result that came out when I did it, and it was just reaffirming to me I can do hard things. It was also to show me that there were voices in my head that came out from voices around us where people would tell you you're probably not good at this or you're doing this. You get bashed quite a lot, whether it's at work, in the family, or whatever. And it had kind of lowered my self-esteem. And I did mention at some point that I was suicidal at some point. And I went through that and I went past that because of the running. And I have to, yes, of course, there's family support, but a lot of it was heavily built on the running, which kind of came back and affirmed to me, no, Cynthia, you're not a bad person. You're actually quite good at something. So that's what drives me. I'm good at this. And then I want to go further and I want to break the limit. So you get to 42, you do 42 and you're thinking, I can go further. You do the 2 oceans, which is 56, and you're like, yeah, I can do further. You do 65 in training, and I can go further. You do 90, you do 165, and then it's just stretching and stretching. And with all that stretching, you get that affirmation or that confirmation that you are something, you are good at something, and you've got this. And then it translates to other areas in your life. So I have had issues. I've had in the most recent years, I've had to go through a significant and a difficult life change. And I remember there's one other friend of mine who's also a chartered accountant who said to me, and she reminded me of this, and I thank her all the time, you're a Comrades runner. Surely you can go through this. And I remembered the journey because Comrades or Washi, which is a 100 miler, it's a journey. It's a journey. You start, you are energetic, you go through it, you've got a little bit of energy, then you get to points where you're, oh my God, I can't do this. But the finishing line is in Durban, and you've got to go to Durban because your hotel is in Durban. So you have to finish. You've got no choice. You can't stop there. You can't get into the Baylor bus because if you get into the bus, it's just you admitting that you've failed.
You've bailed.
Yeah, you've bailed.
They
Exactly. And
call
that's
it
why
the
it's called,
Baylor bus.
yeah, it's called the Baylor bus. There's so many of them, and you're looking at them. And if you look at them and they've got people in there, you can see the faces of the people in there. And you don't want to be the person in the Baylor bus. So you trudge on. And it's like that when you get into situations and difficult circumstances in your life. You've got that to hinge on. I've got the Comrades. I've got the Wash the 100 miler to hinge on and say, look, hang on a second. I've gone through tough situations and I've come out. And you remember the feeling at the end when you get to the finish line, when you finish the race, how good it felt. You forget the pain. You forget what you went through during the run because you're now so focused on the victory. And so when you get to life situations, which are going to be thrown at you left, right, and center, you've got that to lean on. That's what drives me to say, let me keep doing this because it helps me navigate through life. And to be fair with you, you read it in memes, you read it on Instagrams, you hear people talking. And one of the things why I post a lot on my socials, it's because I want people to know that someone close to them who is within their reach can do this. Because some of the times we see these things being posted by people who are so far removed from us. They are elites. We don't know them in real life. But I am just an ordinary chartered accountant based in Guernsey who is not known from a bar of soap in the who's who of running. But I can tell you that it's something that you as an ordinary person can do, and it has got the benefits that it would have for an elite. I'll bet they get money out of it, but you get more out of it in terms of the self-fulfillment and in terms of how it translates to your everyday life.
That's very powerful. I appreciate how you have been honest and vulnerable in this conversation because there are some things that we don't talk about as chartered accountants that, yeah, life happens and yeah, you post appreciation posts, shout outs. uh, you've changed our lives, so I appreciate you being vulnerable and being honest. My last question, because we want to give you at least 5 minutes of your lunch back,
Thank you.
is safety. Safety as a runner. How do you protect yourself, especially as a woman? But yeah, safety concerns are gender neutral, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not so much here. The one thing I love about running in Guernsey is it's so safe. So I've had to start runs sometimes at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And it's okay, well lit. So there's no concerns here. But back home, one of the things was running wolf packs, running groups.
Okay.
It's important.
Mm.
Find a group and don't be by yourself in the dark. And there's a lot, especially if you're in Harare, there's a lot stemming from the Harare Athletics Club. There's a lot of small clubs that have come out in various areas. We've got people running in the west, in the north, in the south. So if you can find a group where you run in wolf packs so that you are safe. Ladies, have pepper spray on you. Have pepper spray, know how to use it, and always have a light or something if you're running in the dark. But if you can, try by all means to run when it's daylight and people can actually see you and you are safe, because that's one of the things. We've lost a couple of runners as well in accidents where hit and run. People have just hit them whilst they're running. I think one of the rules that we have back home is run face oncoming traffic. So you can actually see if someone is veering to where you are, you can jump off the road. It's just follow the safety regulations and be safe at all times. But most importantly, if you can find a group, plug yourself in with a group and run in wolf packs. It's important.
And then, is there any difference in your experience between being a female runner and a male runner? Like the
Well,
run is now like the accountants, where it's now you're an accountant, you're an accountant.
well, I'll have you. I kid you not. Testosterone helps a lot. I wish I had a lot, because the male runners are better than us because they've got more testosterone than us. But I think one thing I need to tell women actually is we're better at this endurance thing because God, we've got the strength. We do. I
Labor.
think. Oh yeah. And I've given birth to three. I would have you know. I mean, I'm good at this endurance thing. So there is a difference. It's different being a male runner, and that's why they've got female and male categories anyway, because we are built differently. But we've got what it takes to compete as well. We've got what it takes to be on the same platform, and probably we have an added advantage because we can really forge ahead even when things get tough. I mean, girls, we got this.
Mm,
Not to take anything from the guys, you've got a lot of testosterone, you're faster, but when it comes to going longer, I think the girls have got this one. Although I'll have you say, in the backyard ultra, my biggest competitor is a guy. At some point, I wish he would trip and fall and break his leg so that I take the overall win.
we run fast.
No, I'm not going to make him trip and fall. It's a stone in the road or something that I will not see, and then he will trip over it, and then I can win because he's proving to be difficult to beat. I'm that competitive. But yeah, we are different. We're built differently. And I think one of the things that we just have to do is acknowledge our strengths and limitations and not necessarily compete against each other. So one of the things that I do is my running buddies are guys. I run with guys. And it's because I learn a lot from them and also they stretch me. You understand? So
I understand.
I acknowledge your strengths and I acknowledge my limitations, but let's piggyback and learn from each other. And they enjoy running with me because I am game. If you say, hey, we want to do a 15K, are you up for it? Yep, I'm up for it. So it's the consistency. They're looking for someone to push them when it comes to being consistent, someone who can push them, go beyond what their limits, like go further and further. I'm happy to go further. And I'm looking for them to help me build on my speed, build on my endurance, and build on my strength. So we are different, but together we make a good team.
Thank you very much, Cynthia, for the conversation. Ash, I'm inspired to get out and run.
Yeah.
But and yeah, a lot of nuggets in this conversation. When life does not go as scripted, uh, your mental game has to be on point. What else did I learn? Discipline, which then filters in all areas of life. Um, yeah, and then the consistency, which feeds into discipline.
And just
And
start. Just start.
just,
Just go
just
out there and start. Grab a pair of trainers or go barefoot. Just start. Walk, run 20. I started with 1.87 kilometers. Now I've gone as far as 165
is almost 100 times.
more. So you don't have to beat yourself and think she does more. No, start. Start with 1, start with 2, and it doesn't have to be running. It can be walking, it can be tennis, it can be swimming. Just
start.
find that thing that makes you get up in the morning and say, I'm going to do it. That makes you want to keep stretching. For me, it's running. What is it for you?
Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of our session today. So we will be sent off by videos of Cynthia training.
Woo, look at me.
I don't want to mess with you in the gym. I'll see you after.
At ICAS, we believe that a strong profession takes care of its own. That's why we've launched the ICAS Member Welfare Insurance Initiative, a meaningful step towards helping members navigate life's most difficult moments together. Now, imagine this. What if your ordinary insurance, the kind you already pay for, could be cheaper and do more than just protect your car, your home, or your business? What if it could protect all of us? Powered by our agent, Zim Selector, this smarter, community-driven approach turns everyday insurance into a powerful tool for collective security and support. This isn't new insurance. It's better insurance. Build on the strength of our professional community. When you route your personal and business cover with this ICAS endorsed group scheme, you unlock lower premiums through ICAS group buying power, tailored cover for your family, business, and professional risks, free advice and full service support, including claims handling. And most importantly, a portion of your premiums goes directly into the ICAS Member Welfare Fund, used to support members in need. That means, at no extra cost to you, you're helping ICAS provide funeral and hardship support to fellow members when they need it most. Many of us have experienced it. A colleague lost too soon, facing illness without adequate cover. A gifted accounting student dropping out due to lack of funds. It's never easy, and it's never forgotten. That's why ICAS is committed to helping more, doing more by making a difference, but can't do it without you. Support the ICAS Member Welfare Insurance Initiative. With just 40% member participation, we could raise over 50,000 every year. It's simple, it's smart, and it's for all of us. Contact ICAS agent Zim Selector today on customer services at zimselector.com or WhatsApp 0775 713 867 or 086 8800 Together, we can cover more.
Right, attend me to sign up.